am just a hot mess. Hello, friend, and welcome to my basement, aka workshop, aka plant room. My name is Angela, and if you're new here, this is Angela's Seeds to Suppers. Been on TikTok for a while now, so I have a lot of shorts over here on YouTube, but I don't have very many long form videos, and I'm going to try to do better about that, because I know that my main mission for the rest of my journey here on this earth is to grow food and to teach other people how to grow food. I have an urban farm in the Cincinnati, Ohio area, and I've been in this home, which is just a tenth of an acre, since 2015. And I've learned a few things along the way about growing food in small spaces that I like to share with people. I'm by no means an expert. I am in Grow Zone 6B, so some of the things that I'm sharing might not be applicable or the same timing for your location. And if you don't know what your grow zone is, all you got to do is go to a search engine and put in what is my grow zone for zip code blank, and it will tell you. Primarily, I use that information to know my first and last frost dates each year, but there are other things in general that are applicable to those different grow zones. But I digress. I am passionate about teaching people how to grow food no matter where they live. I don't care if you're in a high rise in a huge metropolitan area and you don't even have a balcony. You can grow tomatoes in a pot inside that apartment. You can grow lettuce and herbs and things in your windowsill. There are also hydroponic systems that we're going to get into along the way, even though that's something that I'm kind of new at doing. But today, I need to get some cabbage seeds started, and I haven't done it yet. Normally, I would. I'm working on a winter sowing project that we'll be getting into in another future episode, so stay tuned for that. I did start some cabbage in the winter sowing containers, but just in case it doesn't go well, I'm going to start just a few cabbages inside too. I don't do any kind of monoculture planting, and because of small spaces, I do not do rows, I do not till. Everything is either raised beds, grow bags, pots. Even my in-ground beds were former flower beds that were already here when we moved in, and I've just expanded them through the years. So my in-ground areas are very narrow, and I don't do any kind of tilling in those either. Now, my tenth of an acre includes house, sidewalk, driveway, chicken coop, little shed, and a patio. So I have less than a tenth of an acre, and my goal for this 2026 growing season is to grow 400 pounds of food here in this location. You can follow along and see if that happens. Over in my TikTok lives, which I have just recently ended due to time constraints, we've already been measuring our 2026 harvest, which has primarily been lettuce and herbs that we've grown inside, mostly from that little hydroponic system that I will show you in a future episode. You're going to see that I use a lot of different seed companies. Baker Creek is one of my favorites just because of all of the unusual varieties that they offer. I like to try new things. I don't do large quantities of any one item just because of space constraints. So I'll probably only need a couple of each of these. I don't even know if I'll have the space for that. I don't even know if I'd have space for 6 cabbages once I start getting everything out there. But I do also sell plants locally, or I try to. Sometimes I sell a lot, sometimes I hardly sell any. But that's what I always try to do, or give plants away to friends. And I just don't have a really great place for storing my seed here in this home. We've always had a dampness issue. I probably really should stick them in the freezer every year, and I just don't do that. So actually this year, and I'm going to be doing this in a future episode as well, I'm just really going to sort through all of my seeds and get things put over into these. I found these on TikTok. I am a TikTok shop affiliate. I will be referring to a lot of different products that you can always find over there, and I'll have those links down in the description below. Don't ever hesitate to drop in the chat and ask me where I got something or what I'm using. But I do save seed, so I have used some of these already, but I'm actually going to go through a lot of the seed that I have and see if I can just resell it locally, or if somebody comes to buy plants, offer them a free, thing of seed when they stop by to pick up their plants. What I really like about these, they have a Ziploc. And I know that's technically a brand name, so I probably shouldn't say that. It's strong. Sorry. But yeah, I can actually close it versus, every seed packet you get, you can't. Well, that one's not even been open yet. Every seed packet you get, like I found these, I had some old garage sale stickers that I had to break out to try to close these. Because otherwise, if they open in my little containers that I store them in, it's a mess. And I don't know which cabbage is which cabbage. So I'm going to bring you down here so that you can see real quick what I'm doing. We'll talk about my seed starting mix. Get started with these cabbages. I also always try to make sure that I have just some great popsicle sticks on hand. I do reuse these as much as possible. I write on the backside and over the top of them, and I really try to reuse them. But I go through a lot of these every year because I do sell plants locally. And I just pick these up at Michael's. A lot of grocery stores have them, but craft stores are usually the best place to get them. And you can use anything. I just feel like those are more durable and last longer. Okay, full disclosure, a little something about me. I have been over on TikTok since July of 2024. I started out doing digital marketing. That did not go very well. And I was invited into the TikTok shop affiliate program. And I had a little bit of success, but not what I had hoped. And I found that the things that always sold best for me, always resonated the most, were my videos on the gardening and urban farming that I was doing, which completely makes sense, right? That would be my niche. But there's a lot of things that I also use that I wanted to recommend to people on TikTok, like supplements and things, that they have become very restrictive about, almost to the point that, well, it's not almost to the point. It definitely is to the point where my videos are not even getting 50 views for some things that are not garden or urban farm related, which is very frustrating because there's a lot of great products for the home and just lifestyle that I would like to recommend to people. So, because I still have the TikTok shop over there, I am from time to time going to edit in a little promotional video for an item that I recommend that is over in my TikTok shop. I cannot provide direct links to those because those links only work for 11 days, and then, which is very odd. So, any of the products that I recommend in any of my videos, I will be referring you just to that TikTok shop in general, and I will put the full name of the item in the description below so you can easily find it. This is what we're making or what we're growing. God's going to make it. We're just planting the seeds. I did have an Amazon affiliate account twice, and they kicked me out because I didn't have 3 sales within 90 days. So it's not like I'm trying to sell a lot over here. I just want to know that the products are still available for people if they're interested. Now, you might have noticed I put more than one seed in each of these little spots, just in case one doesn't germinate, and I will separate them out when they get big enough. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I label this. It's a long name, so I just put early Jersey and then cabbage on the back. This soil mix is already wet. I will still water these, but it won't be much. So this is the other reason for transferring my seeds into these, is because once I open up that sticker, it's still not going to reclose. This is late flat Dutch cabbage, and I think I just dropped a couple seeds down in my seed mix. Oh well. I have a couple of surprises here. You will find over time that I heard someone call themselves a lazy intuitive gardener, and I thought, that kind of sounds like me. But then I just realized, no, I'm just a hot mess. And I just do the best that I can with the resources I've been given. I try to do everything fairly inexpensively. Like I reuse all of my things every year. But it is just me doing the growing and the preserving and, selling plants locally, and all of those things take time. Like I'm not great about rinsing out things and washing them out every year. And for economic reasons, I don't want to just throw them away each year after they're done. So on this one, I'm just going to put late flat D, which it's late flat Dutch cabbage. And I forgot to get a tray. We'll get that in just a minute. So one more. And you can see that I use these so much. This kind of stuff starts to happen, but that's okay. Once the roots get in there, that soil's going to stay in there, and the roots are still going to, they're going to hold all that together. So this is, the last one is Brunswick cabbage. And I don't have any kind of affiliation with Baker Creek. I don't think they do any kind of affiliate program. If they did, I would hop on it if possible, because I refer so many people to Baker Creek. Just to let you know that I'm not trying to brag, just trying to let you know that I am not just some fly-by-night person. For the majority of the past year, I have hosted lives almost daily on TikTok, and we've had anywhere from 500 to 8,000 people come through in a few hours' time each day, just hanging out with us, wanting to know how to grow their own food. And I'm very much teacher-minded. I love teaching people new things, but I also learned things from people in those lives. And I will really miss it, but I just couldn't justify 3 to 4 hours a day doing that while my garden was suffering. Oh, see, I just knocked that down in there. This is what I mean by I'm a hot mess. My goodness. So that was the last one. I'm just going to throw a few more in there in case they fell out. So I might end up with a lot of Brunswick. I didn't really see any soil fall off, but I hardly had any on top of there. So it could have. This is textbook me. Okay. I am just a hot mess. So when you're starting your seeds, you want to pull out any of this kind of stuff. Companies have started putting forest products in their composted soil, and your little seeds are not going to be able to, those little seedlings, once they germinate, are not going to be able to get through that. So there we go. Now, I will tell you what my seed mix is. Very easy. It was not a recipe that was original to me, and I will put the recipe in the actual measurements for each thing down in the description. And it is just peat moss and then either compost or composted soil. Some people even use potting mix. And then greensand and rock phosphate. That's it. And I do have the rock phosphate and the greensand in my TikTok shop, as well as this. This is something that I've sprayed neem oil on my seed starting containers for years. That was a recommendation that I learned here on YouTube from an Indian gardener. And it does help keep those fungus gnats from their eggs, keeps their eggs from hatching. So SmartGrower is a company. I have several of their products we'll be talking about along the way, but this is one that I've always just had a neem oil concentrate. So this is nice that it's already blended. It also has tea tree oil, clove, sage, thyme, cedarwood, lemongrass, peppermint, garlic, and I'm not sure how to say that, capsicum. I think that's hot pepper. So yeah, I have been periodically spraying this on all of my plants here in my grow room. I have only seen a few gnats, and they were on some geraniums that I'm trying to propagate. They're not doing very well. I should have apologized straight up for having grubby clothes on, but hey, when you're working with dirt and plants, there's no reason to look real fancy. But I've got them over here in a tray on the heat mat, and the very next video I'm going to do is just going to be a short that's going to explain to you about using heat mats, when, why, how, when not to. I have a flower farmer friend that we've kind of been each on our own little journey. I got started a little before her, but she's quickly surpassed me in her knowledge and information about gardening. And she recommended to me covering my trays with burlap so that the soil doesn't dry out and the seeds can germinate. I used to use hoods and my seed would rot because the soil would be so damp that it would start to get fuzzy, look moldy. And then I'd be like, okay, I just wasted all those seeds. So now, if I use anything, it's burlap. Sometimes I don't even use this because I have actually not realized that things have sprouted. And then when I pull this off, they've grown through here and I accidentally pull them up. So if you're going to use burlap, make sure you're monitoring your seed starting trays closely. You absolutely can still use plastic hoods. I just always recommend make sure you have any air vents all the way open. Check the trays regularly to make sure that the soil is not getting fuzzy. It's already the third week in February, so a lot of y'all have already got a lot of stuff started. Big thing I haven't started yet is tomatoes. Sorry for the dirty hands. That just comes with being an urban farmer. But I want to show you what I already have started. A lot of zinnias and peppers. And some of these are getting ready. They need to be divided out. Like the chard desperately needs to be divided out. I will be working on that within the next few days. Same for some red petunias. I saved seed from petunias that I purchased last year. They were gorgeous. And I really did not know if the seed would come up. But there's probably like 20 or 30 plants in here. I know I will lose some of them trying to separate them out, but they're looking really good. And I think this is something I could sell locally if I can get them further along. My onions need a haircut, very, very much so. And I have some chard that has been separated out in here. This is a lot of what I need to do because I have these cool weather veggies here, like spinach, broccoli. This is red Russian kale, and they all need to go into their own little pots to be separated out like this, and the baby bok choy. Because here's what happens if I wait too late. You've got these little tiny ones that just are never going to develop. And I have so many, that's okay. But when it comes to the things like kale and broccoli, I might actually be able to sell some of those. So I want to make sure that I get them all separated out. This is another variety of baby bok choy, looking really good. Typically, I get these outside in the first half of March, as close to the beginning of the month as I can. And I use frost covers and the hoop greenhouses, and I will show you along the way how we do that. Here's some more peppers. And then last thing, this is how I start a lot of my leaf lettuce. I really, really overplant it because then, and I've already done this once, when I come in and I just pull up the whole little sprout, and I can go ahead and start eating these on salads. And then by the time this container is ready to go outside, I've already been harvesting good sized leaves, and I will have several untouched plants that I can get acclimated to being outside. They can go in my vertical grower or raised bed or wherever I want to put them. And then last thing, and I will end up doing a video on this more specifically, but I know I said the other thing was last thing. This is the little hydroponic system that I got from Aerogarden, and I have harvested so much dill that I probably don't even need to grow dill outside this year, but I love to grow dill outside. And it's a great pest deterrent. And I'll show you real quick my sad little succulents. I'm terrible with succulents, but they keep putting out these little babies and I can't just let them go. So yeah, I know that one looks terrible, but it's got a baby. This is all from one plant that my neighbor gave me about 6 or 7 years ago. And I actually sold probably 5 or 6 this past summer. I tried to do a little front porch farm stand, and it was later in the summer and fall. So succulents were something that people were looking for. And that's it for today. So thanks for joining me. Again, not this first video, but in future videos, you might see some little ad videos tucked in between here. And it's just me, folks. It's just me. I do have a couple affiliations with some companies where you'll get discounts, and those are always going to be in the description below. But any products from my TikTok shop that I use in these, I will, in my videos, I definitely will give you the name of those below, as well as it's just my TikTok link, my TikTok account link. And then you go to the showcase. There's a button that says showcase. You'll be able to find it. I'm even going to try to put my TikTok showcase link down there just for the whole showcase to see if it works. I really don't know if it will last longer than 11 days. So that's me. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, comment. I would love to hear what you're growing in your garden already. Some of you might already be, or what you're planning to grow. Drop that in the comments down below. I love to hear from you. I'm really going to miss not doing those lives. So I need you guys to hop in those comments and talk to me. So thanks, friends, and I hope to see you again real soon.